Hello everybody, welcome to Beyond the Box. I'm your host and artist, intern Rick, and today we will be finishing up the second part of our vintage Masters of the Universe Panthor reflocking. So sit back and enjoy, and hopefully we'll all learn something. Alright everybody, welcome back. If you don't remember from the last episode, obviously we had most of one side of the Panthor completely flocked, and in the off time I actually took some time and brushed them down and got most of the flocking pressed down, so it's good. There are still a few little spots here and there that will need to be touched up later, but for today, or the duration of this episode, we'll probably focus on this side of the figure and then do the cleanup at the end. So with that in mind, this episode is going to be, pretty much just a rehash of what the last episode was, outside of doing the cleanup and the last little bits of detail here and there before we finish up the figure. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the spray adhesive, and again, we're going to be using the Krylon spray adhesive here and more of the purple flocking powder that I ordered. I've had a few people ask me where I got the flocking powder from. I actually ordered it on eBay. If you go and just do a search for flocking powder, you'll have tons of it come up. I did order it from a foreign company, so I got it pretty cheap, but it does take a little while to get here. So just keep that in mind when you order. I think it probably took about 3 weeks for mine to come in. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Spray some adhesive down. And I'm going to start at the face and work my way back. Okay. I apologize, you can probably hear the train in the background. Love those things. Unfortunately, the toy studio is not at all soundproof. Alright, let's dump some of this flocking powder down. Move it around. Make sure you get all that adhesive covered up. Tap off your extra. Okay. sure you tap over and get any spots that you might have missed. You don't want to be sloppy. I should probably state, if I didn't state in the first episode, whatever brush that you choose to use, make sure that it's a brush you don't intend to keep, because I definitely ruined this brush. For whatever reason, I think in the past, whenever I've done flocking jobs, I've always used some form of a turpentine or turpenoid to clean my brushes with, and I'm out right now. So all I've had is Goo Gone and rubbing alcohol to clean brushes with, and I'm not 100% positive. I think there might even be a chance that the Goo Gone may have had some weird reaction with the glue or the bristles of the brush or something, but the brush is definitely no longer going to be good for painting. I cannot get it clean. So grab your soft brush, start brushing off the excess. You want to go through and press down anything that might still be sticking up a little bit. And there we go. So I'm going to redirect my light just a little bit here and see if I can't brighten up this workspace a little bit more. There we go. Hopefully that's not too bright. Okay. Try and keep my soft brush out of the adhesive. And remember, when you're laying your adhesive down, you want it to be really thin layers. You don't want it to be like super globbed up or thick, because you want some layer consistency with the flocking powder that you're laying down. You don't want to have variances in elevation in your layers. Move the flocking powder around, kind of push it down and tap on it as you're going. Get it good and push down on that adhesive. And flip them over, tap off the excess. Get your soft brush, brush off any of the balls. Remember, don't push too hard with your soft brush, because you don't want to be peeling the flocking off. Let's flip them around here to the front, and we'll do this front section here next. that section nice and covered. Get the bottom of his foot here. Push that flocking powder all around. Get it good and pushed. Alright, we'll grab our soft brush from the side here and try to brush off any of the excess without peeling it off the figure. The thing about doing this is it also, kind of fluffs up the flocking that's left down. So whenever you stamp it down with your fingers at application and it looks all flat, whenever you go through and you do this with the brush, it kind of brushes that stuff back up so it doesn't look so flat and pressed down. Make sure to set your soft brush off to the side. Spray down a little more adhesive. And we're going to continue with the back side of this leg here. Get up there in the armpit area. And still need some down here too. Soft brush. Use it to brush that flocking into a pile so you're not wasting it. Some of those little boogers you'll have to go through and remove with your fingers, but for the most part they should come off with the brush. Alright, there's that. Now we'll go and we'll grab our adhesive brush, put down a little more adhesive, and get this backside done. move our cover back over a little bit. Just kind of tap it on. So we'll spot that. Miss some adhesive up here. There we go. Alright, we're getting there awfully quick too. Looks like there's some area right along here that missed some adhesive. Let's glop some down on there. Back foot real good. Alright. Alright, let's come in with our soft brush and brush some of this excess off and see where we need to get some cleanup done. See, we still got this spot right here on the tail. Okay, go through and press anything down that's still sticking up. Alright, so what do we think here? Look at that. Obviously there are still a few spots here and there that need to be gone back over with a little bit of adhesive and some flocking powder, but on the whole, this figure is almost completely flocked and looks, even the way that it is right now, looks 100% better than what it looked like whenever we started this project. So I'm going to go through here and do a little bit of cleanup, find some of those spots that still need a little bit of touching up. So we got this spot right here on the leg from the side that we did last time. So, throw a little bit of adhesive down. Now, if I haven't stated, of course, whenever you're going back over these areas and you're putting adhesive down, you'll want to be careful with your brush not to brush too hard on the flocking that you've already put down, so you don't start to rub that flocking away. But as you can see, it is very, very easy to get in there and do patch-up work whenever you missed things whenever you did the first time around. So we got a little bit of a bare spot here on the front. So get a little bit of adhesive, just kind of blot it down there. Come in with some flocking powder and just give it a little bit of a touch-up. And that flocking powder will stick to that just like it did the first time around. So got some boogers here and there that we'll need to peel off, and you know, if you peel those off and it takes off more than you want, you can always go back through and just add a little bit of adhesive, press down a little bit more flocking, and you know, repeat. If nothing else, I mean, the cycle is very repetitious. So this little spot right here on the neck. Dab a little bit down. I've had some comments over cost for doing this. Wouldn't it just be more cost effective to replace your Panthor? Yes, I mean, no. Actually, no, it wouldn't be more cost effective. Basically what we're looking at here is $2 and some change a bucket on flocking powder, which we've only used 2, not even 2, because I've still got all this left over on the work area here, and then probably, you know, $3 for a can of spray adhesive at the most. So there's less than $10 in supplies here, and I'm keeping my childhood Panthor, you know, so I'm not only like keeping the memories of having the toy as a kid, but I'm building more memories by refurbing him and being able to continue to keep that exact same figure in the future, instead of having to replace it and then be like, oh, well, I don't have the one I had as a kid anymore because I got tired of him not looking good and I replaced him. So anyway, there is our flocked Panthor. He's looking pretty good. I think I might still have a couple areas here and there to touch up, but other than that, he is looking pretty beastly. Now we'll go in there and we'll get some sparkly gold paint, and we'll paint his eyes in and do a little touch up on his teeth area here and there, and this figure will be finished. And just be able to throw a saddle on him and be good to go. So let's go ahead and we'll take a quick break. I'll do a little bit of cleanup, and when we come back, we'll finish up the little bit of last touches painting, and this figure will be finished. Alright, we're back. Took a little bit of time here and got the area cleaned up, kind of did some brushing down of the Panthor figure and got all the little boogers and whatnots peeled off of him. So the flocking job is pretty much done. In the future, I don't know, I may pull him off the shelf and look at him and spot a couple things here and there that I might want to touch up, but as far as that goes, the flocking is done. So now we're just going to mix up a little bit of paint off to the side to paint in his eyes, and then we'll touch up a little bit on his teeth, because I did manage to get a little bit of flocking stuck on his teeth, so we'll get that cleaned up. and then this figure will be finished. So for his eyes, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mix up a little bit of like a metallic kind of green gold color. I'm not entirely sure. Like I don't really want to do exactly how it was on the vintage figure, but at the same time I want his eyes to be green but not super green, so I figured I would meet halfway in the middle and do kind of a green gold color. So for that I'm using some Citadel kind of gold colored paint, and then I'm using also some Citadel Slimer green, all stuff that is left over from the Disco Faker figure I did for Doug. So I'm going to get this mixed in here. I think I may actually need to add some yellow because the gold is kind of mucking up the green here a little bit. So I'll just throw in some Folk Art Lemon Yellow. It's nice and bright. If I can get it to squeeze out of the tube. Oh, this is my yellow that's starting to go bad. Alright, there we go. So obviously my mixing job is happening off camera here. We'll slide Panthor over a little bit and get this mixed up here. Let's see if I've got any blue sitting around down here. See if I can brighten it up a little bit more. Now see, I just made a huge boo-boo and slopped paint all over the nice flocked finished figure. Oh, I think I might have done too much. I'm gonna have to throw some more yellow in here. I got a little too much blue down. Yeah, some more yellow. I always end up mixing up too much paint, but thankfully all this craft paint's fairly inexpensive, so it doesn't really hurt my feelings. Better to have too much than not enough, I always say. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to mix just a little bit more yellow in there. This stuff is so thick, it's definitely almost bad. Get a little bit of water off from the side over here. Try not to drip on Panthor. Okay, let's give the brush a good clean in here, and we'll get those eyes painted, get those teeth touched up, and finish up this figure real quick. Okay, I'm going to pull some of this off to the side with my nice wet brush so I can thin it down. Make sure it's good and mixed up. Alright, now let's just paint some happy trees here. Now obviously with this you're going to want to try and be extremely careful. You do not want to fugger this part up. Alright, I'm going to switch to a little bit of a smaller brush here. And I guess it could be partially because of the mold, but I had a little bit of a hard time getting these eyes to look symmetrical. It's probably about as good as it's gonna get. So, clean my smaller brush here. Throw down a little bit of white paint. Now remember, with white paint, what do you want to do? You want to mix it down. Get that water in there. Otherwise, your whites will dry super chalky and look gross. Okay. Now, thankfully, we did this already at the start of the project, so I'm just touching up. So this should be a rather easy and not tedious task. So, splashed white back there in the mouth. And you can probably hear my dog Havoc barking in the background. Hush. Okay. So I guess I'm going to grab a little bit of red. Throw some red down on our palette here. I'll clean up that white that got splashed in the back of the mouth. And then we will be calling this bad boy done. Just carefully brush that back in there. Just trying to make sure any of the area that I might have missed or got with any of the other color paint. So alright. Stick that in there. I'll move my palette out of the way here. Grab the old saddle. Burp. And here I have my original childhood Panthor figure in virtually restored perfect condition. I just got to get a saddle strap that's not broken, and I will be completely happy with this figure. Now, the only thing I wish I would have done was taken some before photos so we could all remember what the actual thing looked like before we started the project. But I will go ahead and I will take some pictures, and we'll have a nice little close-up look at what the figure looks like in a final montage. Alright, I'm your host and artist intern Rick. I hope that you enjoyed everything that you have seen here. Alright everybody, so that's about going to wrap it up for this project. What did you think? Did you learn anything? I know I sure did. I would have never guessed that Brillo pad would have been the best choice for removing that old flocking off of this figure. But it worked, and it was awesome. So, I'm sure this flocking thing is probably going to become a trend. I've had some ideas and some recommendations to maybe do a vintage Beastman or maybe a vintage Stratos. So I went ahead and I ordered a full color palette of powder flocking. And Dirt and I have even talked about maybe doing a classics Disco Panthor figure to go with his custom Disco Skeletor. So we all have these ideas to look forward to in the future. However, our next project is going to be a project that maybe a lot of people would really like to see. As we all know, our Masters of the Universe figures are starting to get old. They're starting to get kind of floppy in the legs. Maybe even some of them are starting to break and fall off. So I'm going to do a video, and I'm going to show you guys how to replace those legs with the classic eyelet O-ring replacement removal process. So we'll have that to look forward to. And until then, I am your host and artist intern Rick. I hope you enjoyed this little custom project. And let's enjoy taking a look at some pictures, and we'll see you next time.